It was in 1962 when China attacked India. The story is about a soldier who fought alone for 72 hours until his last breath and helped India win the war. Many people believe that even today his soul continues to serve there. In the story, a father is waiting for his son at the railway station after the end of the war, but instead, he finds his son's suitcase and a message that informs him that his son had died as a martyr for the motherland. Even today, only a few people know about him. This story is based on a true event. The story takes us back to the childhood of Jaswant Singh Rawat, where he was mischievous yet bright in his studies. Jasu grew up in poverty and his parents expected him to help overcome their difficult financial situation. One day, in the middle of class at school, a National Cadet Corps (NNC) teacher came and asked the children to participate in the program. Jasu took part in it and came home to tell his parents that he wanted to join However, to do so, he needed an NNC dress. He began insisting that his father get him the dress. When Jasu went inside to change his school dress, he secretly listened to his parents talking. His mother asked his father how they would get the dress if they didn't have the money for it. She suggested that they should buy a cycle for his father first so that it would be easier for him to deliver milk. It seemed impossible to get Jasu the dress under such circumstances. Jasu came out of his room and told his parents that he would fulfill all of their wishes someday. Time flew by, and Jasu grew up quickly while excelling in his NNC training. He managed to save some money to buy a cycle for his father, but unfortunately, it was snatched away by a friend who cheated him. Jasu was devastated and decided to quit his studies. His father was angry with his decision. Jasu joined the army, where he underwent training and finally became a soldier. After a 9-month training period, Jasu returned home, and everyone was happy to see him. He brought many gifts for his parents, and happiness finally came to their home, and poverty came to an end. However, the day also came when he had to go back. Jasu's first posting, named Chardur, Assam, where the neighboring country of China was trying to enter India. But Jasu, like steel made from the fire of poverty, was ready for this. Curious, Jasu asked his senior why China wanted to enter India, and his senior officer explained that after occupying Tibet, China considered some parts of India as the southern part of Tibet and was trying to forcibly enter the country. Jasu shared his knowledge about the history of Tibet and the rebellion of Tibetans against China. The officer was impressed by Jasu and his love for reading. One day, while on patrol with his fellow soldiers, Jasu meets Nora and her sister, and it becomes clear that Nora has feelings for him. Meanwhile, back at home, Jasu's parents hear on the radio about the tense situation at the border between China and India. Jasu's mother becomes frightened, but his father reassures her that nothing will happen to Jasu. One day, while on patrol with his fellow soldiers, Jasu pretends to be thirsty so that he can meet Nora, who also likes him. Later, the general at the army base informs everyone that the Chinese army has been spotted in the mountains surrounding the Namkachu Valley. He prepares teams, including Jasu and some other soldiers, for a mission at night to capture a Chinese soldier alive and obtain information about their movement. However, they accidentally kill the Chinese soldier because he was shouting, alerting the Chinese army and making it difficult for the Indian army to continue patrolling the area, was not getting any clue about the Chinese army. Then, suddenly one night, some soldiers, including the captain, are keeping watch around the base. They see some people, who soon turn out to be the entire Chinese army. The captain orders the soldiers to take their positions and goes to alert the colonel. However, upon reaching there, he sees that the Chinese army has already surrounded them even more. The colonel orders everyone to take position and fire. Jasu, who is ready in his position to shoot, notices his fellow soldier trembling, encourages him, and asks him to shoot first. The captain gives the order to shoot, and the first shot is fired. The Chinese army retreats quickly. According to the colonel, the Chinese army had come to see how many people were there in the Indian army, what their position was, and what guns they had. The colonel warns the captain to be cautious. After a while, the Chinese army returns, this time with more soldiers and machine guns, while the Indian army has only rifles and 1 or 2 machine guns, and fewer soldiers. The captain orders them to fire again, and the Indian army manages to kill the Chinese, though losing some of their soldiers in the process. The next morning, Jaswant is asked to take the bodies of all the martyrs to the camp. However, the danger is not over yet, as they can be attacked at any time, and they are well aware of it. On the other hand, the colonel calls for help from other officers, but they refuse, citing the difficulty of organizing a quick response given the deteriorating situation. He is suggested to seek help from the Bomdila base. Jasu and some soldiers, including the captain, discuss their options, and the captain suggests moving towards Bomdila. However, Jasu overrules the decision and insists on staying at the post. When the Chinese army reappears and attacks, all the soldiers take their positions and start to counterattack. Amidst the bullets and bombs, the captain notices a Chinese post that is firing heavy machine guns. He sends 3 soldiers, including Jasu, to destroy it. They reach the top and prepare to attack the post, leaving a constable named Trilok to cover them. Trilok is martyred while attacking the outpost, but Jasu throws a grenade and attacks the Chinese soldiers, bringing a machine gun from Chinese post. On the way back, Jaswant covers fellow soldier L and slips down the hill. Meanwhile, the captain is martyred while fighting the enemies at the base. Most of the soldiers thought of going to Sela Pass to fight from there, but they also got martyred while leaving. But just then, Jasu arrives there, who had vowed not to allow even an inch of land to be taken from his country. He shoots at the enemies one by one and starts killing them. Jasu fires from different places and changes his location after every shot. Due to this, the Chinese army thinks that Indian soldiers are secretly firing from different places. After a while, Nora arrives to help him, as she had also promised to do something for her country and not let the Chinese enter India easily. Jasu continues fighting with a machine gun, while Nora watches him. Then he teaches Nora how to shoot a gun so that she can also accompany him. He keeps retaliating against them throughout the night. After a while, there is no movement from the Chinese side. Jasu stops and rests, and goes to sleep. Then, on the second day of the war, firing starts again, and he fights with the enemies while avoiding them. A bullet hits his leg, but he continues fighting and killing them. However, when Jasu gets tired, Nora asks him to stay and goes to get water for him. Despite his refusal, she leaves, and there is a blast, killing Nora as well. Night falls while he fights, and he rests in a post. When the Chinese army attacks him, he fights them off. After fighting all night, he continues fighting in the morning, but this time he runs out of bullets. He remembers his mother and loads the remaining bullets, jumps into the battle, and even after the bullets run out, his courage does not falter. He takes out his knife and fights until his last breath. Captured by the Chinese, he is beheaded, and Jasu dies defending his motherland. India eventually wins the war by the help sent by the nearest base camp, and the Chinese are sent back. It is believed that Hero is still guarding the border and giving signals of his presence to the Indian army from time to time. The Indian army still considers him active and promotes him posthumously. Jaswant Singh Rawat was honored with the Mahavir Chakra, which is a matter of pride for us,